This is a review, a real world, real owner review of the Hiley Tiger King RS. This is about all the quirks, all the details, and the day-to-day use cases and experiences of using this scooter. I've ridden in all sorts of terrain, dirt, gravel, fall leaves, pavement, snow, ice, wet, mud, you name it, I've been on it. The only thing I have not been on is good weather. I haven't been on blue skies or sunny spring cruises. None of that. It's been a brutal review, brutal use case. I use it every day, and I've been using it in nothing but terrible, icy, dry weather. I can say that I beat it up pretty much every day. Not nice to it, and if it survives me, it's gonna be a winner. So it's super dirty, very dirty, and it's gonna stay dirty. And I left the wrappers that came around the lights to just keep it as a protection until the times get better, and then I'll take them off, maybe springtime or until they fall off on their own. We'll see what happens. The wrap around the cables, they have a zipper in the back, and you just wrap around and zip, and it's pretty good. I think it does well. I think another good detail about it, even though I have not confirmed it, is the split rim that this scooter has. It's one of the biggest features. It has the twist off motor cable as well. Between the two things, they should make changing a tire a much easier experience. I hate changing tires because it's always a miserable time, but this should make it easy. Let's see. The badge on this thing is really nice. So name, logo, doing a good job. It looks like a standout badge. Doesn't look cheap. It doesn't feel cheap. And it looks unique. It really does. I think the logo and the tiger on the side is pretty nice. The headlamp is pretty cool. It's small, compact, and it goes with the overall design. But I will say it's not powerful. It's not. But it's not very weak either. I think it's a fair middle ground in terms of strength, because if you have one that's too strong, moving it around a city or bike lanes where there's pedestrians around, you're gonna blind them, and it's very uncomfortable for them, and the last thing you wanna do is be a nuisance. The light functions like a flashlight cone, so it gives you that cone look when you have it on the ground. But it does the job. I think it's okay. Little feature here, the accelerator has a LED logo, and I thought it was nice. The control buttons click and feel really nice to the touch. They respond easy, and the tactile is pretty nice. That little foot symbol, I have no idea what it is. I looked it up in the manual. It seems to be just a placeholder for something else. Who knows? That hook in the middle to hang your bags, amazing. MVP, check it out. I usually go all over the place with my scooter, but now it's even better. The weight's right in the middle. Little quirk here that I don't like is that when you press on the throttle, your finger, your skin, your gloves, they could get caught in between. It has like a little sharp edge there and catches your finger. You could pinch it from time to time. I wish it was smoother. The wraparound LEDs, very nice. They're strong, they're bright, they are even across, so no weak spots. You can see me from a mile away. Here I am stuck in slippery leaves under the snow, so I prefer not to fall over and so let me walk myself out. But you can see me nice and bright at a distance. Here we got the tail light. The tail light is also cool. The shape goes well with all the angles and the design of the scooter. Here you will have also the turn signals going left and right as well. I didn't show the front. They're pretty much simple orange lights. The brake here though, when you press it, the brake light will blink. Here it doesn't show through as well, but it is a nice bright red. The nut brakes are 4-piston calipers. They hold on strong. They're smooth when you need them to be smooth. I can definitely attest for that. Look at them, they're dirty. Here is pretty steep, and I can control the speed by just modulating the brakes, and it's super smooth and soft. In snow, wet, it doesn't matter the conditions, it's always nice. It's consistent every single time. It doesn't get mushy. I have several hundred miles on the scooter and the brakes are still pressing and holding exactly at the same spot. I think that's great. No need for anything else. This is great. The power caps are nice. They're spring loaded. They snap on immediately. You don't have to worry about them staying open and getting that wet at any time. They are tight and secure. The stamp clamp is a monster. I've never seen one better than this. That thing is tight. It feels like a single piece. That's how tight it is. But this is the real MVP here. This footrest has this little handle design, and you can grab it and use it to move it around. It's the best thing. The horn is like a toy, but it's all right. I have a problem with this, the stickers. The sticker in the front says Magura. Why? It looks like they probably were going to use Magura and then didn't, but they should not use those stickers. It makes no sense. I have no idea what that Magura sticker's there for. And then in the back, here we have another one. PMT. I don't see any PMT tires. I'm not complaining about any of the actual pieces, but the stickers are horrible. Acceleration is strong. It's very strong. These are very strong motors, tons of torque. Whether you're on single motor or dual motor, you're gonna feel it. You could modulate the power easier on single motor if you're around tight spaces, around people. If you want a smoother acceleration curve, then I would say a single motor is great because you get to have the torque when you need it and the smoothness to drive around softly and cruise more softly. No jerky motion with the single motor. Now, if you want to go with the dual motor, you're going to have more traction when you need it, when you have lower gears, of course, because if you're on dual motor with high gear, you're going to be ripping off the sides. The thing is powerful, but it's definitely the way to go if you want to get a bigger thrill. You want to feel that rush and that pull. You better hold on right, because that thing is going to push you back. And I got to tell you, when you're cruising and you want to hit that speed, even while you're moving, click that gear up and you're going to feel the difference. I was cruising at around 33 miles an hour and I put that gear on 5th, and even going at 30, put it on 5th, that thing pulled me like I was standing still, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it that at 30 it was pulling that hard. But like I said, if you want to cruise smooth, you don't want none of the jerkiness, you don't want to feel like you're getting pulled by a wild horse all the time, leave it on single motor. It's going to be a smooth, good ride. But here's another thing, the lighting. The lighting on this thing has like an unspoken feature, which is that it has automatic turn on and turn off. It uses a light sensor that is right at the back of the display. If you look here, there's a little hole, and it's right under the NFC logo. That little hole is what receives the light and then determines if it's dark enough to turn on the lights automatically. The problem with that is that that little hole can be affected by the position of the display. If the display is too low, it'll have less light going in, and if it's all the way up, it can receive more. So depending on the angle of the display, it will behave differently around the ambient lighting. And that can get tricky really fast. When you're outside and it's nighttime and you want your lights on, you want your lights on. But if you do this here, that can affect how much that's going to be affected by the ambient light, like I said. Here's a little video, and you could just follow the scooter around and look at the ambient light and how the light is either off or on accordingly. and it's inconsistent. It's not something that I think I would like. You can override it by pressing the light button and then turning off and on the light button, and then the automatic function goes away. But if you turn on the scooter and just badge in, the default mode will always be automatic lights on and off. But look at this. Depending on how much light the sensor feels, it'll just go on and off. See, light turns on after it passed those cars. Before that, it was too much light, so it turned it off. So when you're riding against traffic, the headlights of other vehicles will force the sensor to shut down the lights, which I think is counterproductive, because you want to be seen at night at all times. You don't want the light going on and off during nighttime. And in a place where there's a lot of lights, that's going to be a problem. But then again, you could be in the suburbs, you could be in some country road, and if you have a car coming in your direction, their headlights are going to turn them off. Look at this, look at this, street lamp, turned it off. The suspension here is a funny situation. They're upside down. I don't know why. Somebody maybe could tell me in the comments or something, but the dials are at the bottom and they're also upside down. So the instructions or the label is also upside down. So you got to read it upside down. Generally, these shocks, they have the dials and adjustable. They have it on the top here, like I just showed you. But no, here you have to read it upside down. So left, no, it's left, right, and right is left. So pay attention to that when you're going to try to change them. The front tire, you can just turn it to the side and it's going to be easily accessible, but it's still upside down when it comes to reading which side to go for softer or stiffening the suspension. In the back tire though, miserable, because you got to get completely under the deck and you got to sort of fidget and feel your way through it. The dial's there, uncomfortable, upside down again, and it's just a very, very inconvenient way to adjust your suspension on the go if you want to. Now, when it comes to off-roading and how it feels and handles, this thing is fantastic. Fantastic. Here you got compact, heavy, solid snow, uneven terrain, and it functions great. I felt like I was on a cloud. I had it in a very soft setting. It's super good. The suspension adjusts to whatever the situation is, and you can dial it in where you need it to dial it in, and it'll perform the way you want it and expect it to. Here, it's actually icy snow, and I'm going through little bumps and roots against the trees and all of that, and it was perfectly fine. I was completely in control. Doesn't matter if it's icy roads like this, not a problem either. I have rocks and pieces of ice in the way, and on your feet, it's like none of it is there.
Bueno,
Going uphill, that's not even a problem. This was on 20%, and this is steeper than it looks on video. Way steeper than it looks on video. The shape of the tire is a very pronounced U shape, which was pretty interesting considering this is off-road supposedly, or at least that's the way it's marketed. The tire is hybrid. On the wet, it's actually super quiet. Street tires on the wet makes a ton of noise. This sway from side to side, that's the shape of the tire. It helps you go from side to side when needed and stay on lane. It flicks like a small scooter. It feels light like a small scooter, and I attribute that to the shape of the tires. It has a more pronounced U shape than your standard street ones, and I think it really does makes a difference. Here I'm going uphill through mud. It's keeping traction, having a dual motor, and no problem whatsoever. Wet grass, mud, wet dirt. And here, as you'll see, I'm actually coming towards a little road that is right by the water. And I'm accelerating here now at over 20 miles, so around 25. And I have no problems, nothing but confidence, because the scooter inspires confidence. No issues whatsoever at all. I got a side to side, like I said, flicks to the side, and it feels super light. It does not feel like a heavy scooter. It's an off-road scooter that feels like a race scooter once you're running it. Um, Small maneuvering, here's an example. All this happened after a snowstorm, and I'm just flicking through it like if I was in a 9-inch, 2.5 wheel scooter. No problem. Supermarket, no problem. Put that basket on that baby and take care of business. Any terrain, any terrain. Supermarkets included. The size is just right. It's big enough for a big person. I'm a tall person, and it's all the room I need. And it's not extra big that it's going to be an inconvenience to put in an elevator or going through a door. It's not so wide that it's also a pain. And I can't really think of anything that I would say as a reason to not get it. Here, I'm riding on solid ice right here before I jump back into the snow. And if I'm gonna give you my last thoughts, is that for the price, in fact, not just for the price, just overall, this thing is fantastic. The problem with scooters that have more electronics is that all those electronics go bad. They always have a problem. There's always some connectivity issue. There's always some wiring or some contacts that never work. And this thing has been consistent, reliable. It hasn't given me a single problem once. That lighting with the automatic lights, is a bit annoying, but you can override it with the manual button. Hiley actually sent me a different display after I brought it up to them, and they were great. They responded fast, they were quick, and they said, we're gonna hook you up with a new display. And I haven't tried it out. I'll make another video for that, but my last thoughts is best purchase ever. I'm gonna put this thousands of miles. I love it.